Hi guys, Cynthia here, and today, we're going to add some more protection to the garden. We are going to clean up the forsythia with some not shears, like pruners and stuff like that, and I'll show you everything that I have, and some hedge trimmers, and then I'm going to add some T-post and I'll show you what it is. But there's a lot of things we're also going to do. Oh, wait, I just have to pick this up. We're also going to add these all around the perimeter of the garden. That's the goal. At least I want to get the back thing done. I have a set time that I have to complete this task by. I gave myself 2 hours with the 30-minute, oh no, I need more time window. But let me turn you around and let me show you the items that I'm using for the project today. Okay, so first things first, we're going to get started with cutting back the forsythia. You can see that it's all encroaching. I just like to make this a nice, like tidy hedge. And then we are going to continue this way. I have to clean this whole area up because we're working on the greenhouse and this entire section needs to be cleaned up. My plan, let me show you. Just go this way. I have some T-posts. I think I purchased only 6. Yes. I don't know if I'm going to need any more, to be honest. But this is the chicken wire that we will be using for along the forsythia. Hopefully I have enough. I'm not sure. But I thought this would be good to ensure that no bunnies or anything come from, under the forsythia into the garden. We have T-post. We have that. We have these things that I'm digging into the ground. And then over in the cart, gosh, my garden is a mess. Over in the cart, I have some hedge trimmers and these really scary pruners that you have to be very, very careful about. How I'm going to be pounding in my T-post, because I don't have a T-post like pounder inner. I don't know what it's called. I have a hammer and a piece of wood that I'm just going to put on the T-post and hammer in. And then I also have a rubber mallet for the these things because I don't want them to bend. So I'm going to set you up and we'll start with cutting back the hedge of forsythia.
So the first thing I'm doing is obviously cutting back the forsythia, and that is why I wanted to have a few feet between the forsythia and the barrels so that I can take on this chore that I have to do at least twice a year. I do it right in the spring and then I always do it in the fall. Now, mind you, where I cut means that I will not be getting any blooms from the forsythia. It's only going to bloom on the very top because forsythias are one of those types of plants that grow on or bloom on old wood. So cutting it means I'm not going to get any blooms at the bottom, and I'm completely fine with that. I decided to go with green 4-foot post and green chicken wire so that it kind of blends in. I didn't want anything sticking out like black and or silver. So that is why I chose the color green. I only used my rubber mallet. I first started with the wood and the hammer, but realized that I did not need to do that. So it was fairly easy. Then I started to stretch over this, chicken wire, and this was also very easy. I thought this job was going to be a lot harder than it was. It was just more time consuming. I also put the posts, which I did not tell you when I was speaking in this video, 5 feet apart.
Okay, so here is where we are. I still have plenty of space. I thought about putting it much closer to the forsythia and realized that I want to give the forsythia some space to grow. So I think this is as far as I can go. And you can see I still have plenty of walking space. And if I needed, I can move up the barrels by an inch, this way. A few things. You want to make sure, so let me show you a T-post that, here's just an additional one that I haven't put down yet. But you want to put that into the ground. You want to dig that entire thing into the ground. I was able to use the rubber mallet just fine. I didn't need a T-post digger. Now I'm thinking if you have like taller T-posts, it might be easier. But because these are so short, I believe this is like a 3.5 or a 4-foot T-post that, yeah, it's 4 foot. I had the leverage to just kind of hammer it down. Anything taller than me, I would have needed like a T-post digger. So this is where I stopped. I stopped here because I have to figure out how far I'm going to have the garden go behind the greenhouse. So here's the base of the greenhouse. And I just don't know exactly how far I want this little, I don't know, fence to go. I'm very proud of how tight I was able to get this part of the fence. It's a little bit bubbly and wobbly in some places, but I couldn't pull any more. It just wasn't giving for me. A few things you want to note is that the fence has these little like hooky things. You want to make sure that the uh, thing or the poles have these little hooky things. You want to make sure that it's connected so that it's kind of holding it down. You see that there? It's holding it in place. And this will also give you like a tighter fit. How I connected this corner, I thought it was going to look worse, but it doesn't look too bad. So now the next item on the list is, oh goodness, to take this guy and let me show you what I'm going to do. Actually, let me start over on that end so it's easier to see. Before I go on, I want to show you this end here. I will be zip tying it to the black fence, just like the hangover. I'm going to zip tie all of this to the poles just to, I don't know, have some reinforcement. But let me show you what the next thing I'm going to do is. So the next business is putting down this fence. And how I'm going to do it is I'm going to, no, that's not going to work. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this all the way to the black fence just for some security, just like that. And with the hammer, I'm just going to hammer it all the way down. There we go. And I think that's as far as it's going to go. Yeah, that's as far as I want it to go too. So this, now if something tries to dig in, they can't. They're going to have those bars. Super simple. And so we'll continue this process all the way across. And hopefully I will have enough time to zip tie everything. I'm going to have to because I need to make sure that this is secure before I leave for the night. Okay, let's continue the process. Okay, it's like really sturdy too. That's awesome.
Another easy task was putting these in. The only hard part about this particular job was that I had to make sure that I put them the exact width apart so that they would connect with those little plastic connectors that I had. But other than that, this job was super, super easy. I could have probably dug them in a little deeper, and I may do that when I'm putting them in the front part of the what am I trying to say, garden, like around the perimeter of the fence. I might dig them a little further back. But other than that, I mean, just easy jobs, just time consuming and a little bit kind of tedious. You want to make sure that everything's dug in good. But I also went ahead and zip tied all of the tops so that they don't fall down or blow over or whatever it may be. I just made sure to take care of doing that. And then I also came up with a solution at the end, which I will show you. I'll put a little video because this does not connect all the way.
Okay, so the fence is up. Let me show you from this end first. I have to get bigger zip ties because I need it to connect to the other fence. I couldn't put the post any closer to the black fence because I couldn't there's like something really hard right there in between, and I don't know if it's a rock or a root, possibly is a root because all of the forsythia. So I had to move it over an inch, and I thought I gave enough space, but I remember I was like tugging and tugging and tugging to make it real tight, and I think that I might have, I don't know, put too much or pulled too much this way. Either way, I do have enough that I am going to zip tie. I need to get bigger zip ties to tip tie like the very end. I'm not too concerned about anything trying to get up through here. It's more the critters I can get over this little barrier, which not many can. But I feel really good about this fence now. It's really secure. I don't think anything can penetrate unless they bite through it, which I doubt. But I'm really excited because now I have this space behind the forsythia that I can easily walk. Now, mind you, this hydrangea is going to move to that back corner, but I have to wait. As I mentioned in other videos, this area, I am moving the hostas to a different garden in this fall. And I have a ton of daffodils in this area that I would like to also move to the different garden where these hostas are going to go. So I can't very well put that hydrangea in that corner yet until spring. But once that hydrangea is in the corner, you can see that I could easily walk through here, not a problem. And I could trim the forsythia. So I'm really happy about that. The curve, I stopped the lower fence right there only because we're still working in this area and I want to make sure that I don't have to redo a bunch of things. So I just stopped everything right here. But I'm really happy with this fence. Now, I do have to do the entire front and I don't have any time today. I took all of the 2 hours that I allotted for this project already. And this is going to have to be a project that needs to happen ASAP because the ground cannot freeze before I, hammer those in. But imagine that little black, little fancy thing just all the way across. And I will be putting it also behind the greenhouse. Like literally, it's going to go all around the garden to make sure that nothing can penetrate. Okay, guys, I am going to clean up. I just have like plastic and things like that from all of the um, bits and pieces. Oh, I forgot to show you. To connect those little fences, it came with these things. And I think I showed you this when I put it in the around the garden beds. These just hook that together so that they are kind of like one unit. So it's super, super easy to put together. I will definitely link these little diggy fancy things that I got. I got them off of Amazon. I really like them. I have them all around I still have some of them around my garden beds. And I really think that it's worth the money to ensure that, your garden kind of stays safe from critters. But I really am loving what the garden is looking like. This is giving me a lot of joy. This barrel line is so, so pretty. I love it so much. Doesn't it look really cool? I think it looks great. But I'm going to leave the video there. If you like the video, please like it, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to have you. And remember, if you didn't get it done today, there is always tomorrow.